Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, what she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block.
What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment.
What if I told you fans of the Chicago Sky are questioning not only her statistics, but also their own life decisions? Did the Sky draft a baller or a walking turnover machine? Hold on tight, because this meltdown makes a soap opera seem like a meditation retreat. Angel Reese's The Future was replaced by, can we get a refund in emotional stability faster than her box score went negative after racking up the worst plus minus in the entire WNBA?
Angel Reese picking up right where she left off, breaking more WNBA records, but unfortunately for Sky fans, it came in the form of a loss, 99-74. The Chicago Sky, you're seeing that right.
No, it's not a tornado warning that has caused Chicago Sky supporters to go into full-blown breakdown mode. Rather, it's because they finally accepted the possibility that Angel Reese could be the basketball equivalent of a turnover in sneakers. This week's fanbase's emotional breakdown has been so severe that you would believe the team signed a traffic cone by mistake, but they actually drafted one and gave her a personalized nameplate and locker.
There is a true crash out in the Angel Reese congregation. The Angel Reese congregation is losing their minds. The podcasters are losing their minds. I have seen video comments. The fans of Chicago are trying to fire the coach. They're now finally calling out Angel Reese for her lack of fundamental skills. And after we witnessed what we witnessed last night in that one specific clip, holy Lord, it is getting worse.
Let's begin with Right Angel, the most vicious stat line in basketball history and the lowest plus minus in the whole WNBA. Fans are watching replay and wondering, wait, is she secretly a double agent for the other team? Because she is not only suffering, but also changing the definition of what it means to tank a stat sheet. Because whichever tactic she does is now effective against the opponent, she is washing statistics off like spring cleaning rather than padding them.
Angel Reese, that was the worst game I have ever seen her play.
The supporters are now using sarcasm as weapons, like seasoned soldiers, just when you thought things couldn't get much more crazy. One fan stated, I tried to buy an Angel Reese jersey online, but I couldn't get it in the basket. Another person commented, waiting for her to call the fans racist for noticing she plays like a confused traffic cone on defense. It's a new level of irony when your own supporters are roasting you like a Thanksgiving turkey and somehow manage to get more heat on social media than her entire offensive game. That joke right there is doing more numbers than her field goal percentage.
Look, we got to be honest about Angel Reese here. We've got to be honest. She can't score layups. That's a fact.
The sad thing is that last season when Angel Reese abruptly vanished down the stretch poof gone, what happened to the Chicago Sky? Oh yes, they started winning again. It's almost like she's a reverse Lucky Charm. When she's on the court, the scoreboard slides into misery. When she's not, the scoreboard flows into wins.
Did Angel Reese break? I didn't say it was a good record. I never said that. Shout out to you, Price, because I missed this. Historically bad shootings with a E emoji. Angel Reese goes 0 for 7 from within 4 feet of the basket to tie most misses from that distance in the WNBA over the past 10 seasons.
What's confusing is that Angel Reese didn't enter the league quietly. Rather, she bounded in with more hype than a Marvel movie trailer. Her self-comparisons, big words, and big ego were all over the place. And now we have a player who plays 32 minutes and manages to have the same impact as a folding chair. The way she refuses to pass 4 wide-open teammates on the perimeter, all of whom are waving like they're calling for cabs during a blackout. And she's out there throwing up bricks like it's a masonry workshop. Let's not just miss shots. It's missed opportunities, IQ, and growth. Every time Angel Reese drives, fans hold their breath, not out of excitement, but out of fear that someone might be hurt by the ricochet off the backboard. Some fans are even pleading with her to sit out again so they can watch a game that is worth watching. But perhaps we're all being too critical. Perhaps she's just experimenting. Perhaps this is performance art. Perhaps she's a philosopher masquerading as a power forward. Or perhaps she's still holding on to the idea that stat padding on a losing team somehow equates greatness, because in reality, you can't pad stats if your stats aren't even soft. They're jagged, hostile, as if numbers could punch you in the face.
So much last year that this was a player that was on the level of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has a bad day, goes 11, 6, and 4, foul trouble. Angel Reese on the same day has the worst day of her life.
It's funny because there are rookies in the league who are also learning, but their stat sheets don't look like math errors. It's not about being young, it's about refusing to change. It's about entering the league with more tweets than footwork, drills, and expecting people to ignore you when you're playing like a YMCA regular. And then there's the media circus. Every time someone dares to criticize her, the brigade comes out. It's like watching a teenager being kicked off their phone because of the annoyance, pouting, and eye rolls after losing to players who don't even have a shoe deal. One would expect at least a hint of humility, but instead we get the same old bravado with no backup. If confidence without competence were a sport, she would win MVP. And we haven't even discussed the defense. What's defense? Angel, when someone blows past her, Reese jogs back as if it were a Sunday stroll in the park. She plays defense as if she's just passing by. Oh, there's a drive to the basket. Good luck, sis. Oh, someone's open for 3. She says, that's your moment to pose for the cameras. Her rotations are so late, even dial-up internet makes fun of her.
I mean, I hate to see it, honestly. Like, I wish her stats was better. Honestly, I really wish her stats was better, so I'll be like, word, definitely a Caitlin Clark competition, let's go. But you really not doing me or anybody else that wants you to do good any kind of favors with stat lines like this.
Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, what she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese.
Great rebounder. Pass the ball. That's all you got to do. Get assists. You be like the double-double of assists and rebounds. You ain't got to worry about the points. Have your teammates score. I don't understand. I ain't hating. It would be a lovely fucking competition. You know what I mean?
Fans who originally yelled for a re-season are now tweeting, bench her before she breaks the scoreboard, which is a historic turnaround, but at least they are slowly and painfully waking up, as when you realize your favorite band lip syncs. People in Chicago. The Sky front office must be sweating profusely because they bet heavily on a name rather than a game. And now they're sitting courtside watching a PR disaster unfold in slow motion. Every time Angel touches the ball, the tension in the arena could be cut with a butter knife. Will she shoot? No, unless God intervenes. We're also witnessing the fallout in the locker room, so don't be fooled by the staged smiles and practiced interviews. Nothing destroys team spirit more quickly than someone hoarding the ball, missing layups, disregarding open shooters, and then blaming the system. Not the coach, not the referees, not the system. Chemistry doesn't lie. There are moments when the answer is painfully obvious. You.
When it comes to the beef between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, let this fact sink in. If Reese didn't miss her layups and become a rebound merchant, she would get a lot less criticism. This rivalry would also be a lot better because the two could compete. And if she doesn't start improving basketball-wise, there's not going to be much of a rivalry left because Caitlin Clark has owned her so far.
And before anyone pulls the she brings fans to the game card, sure, so does a clown at a birthday party. But at some point you want to see basketball, not balloon animals. Spectacle doesn't win championships, substance does. And right now, the only substance Angel is offering is pure unfiltered frustration. It's a shame really, the league could have used her energy, the charisma, the flair. But what we got instead is a walking TikTok highlight reel with no actual highlights. A viral machine without virality. A player who's mastered the art of staying trending for all the wrong reasons. Every game she plays isn't just a matchup, it's a masterclass in how not to transition to the pros. And the scary part, this might just be the beginning. If there's no course correction, no reflection, no growth, then brace yourselves because the spiral is gonna get steeper. The fans already see it, the coach probably sees it, and the opponents, oh, they're circling like sharks every time Angel Reese steps on that court. She's not just battling defenders, she's battling expectations. Expectations, she inflated comparisons, and she encouraged now they're backfiring, and the WNBA isn't the kind of league where you get to bluff your way through a season eventually. The truth shows up on the scoreboard in the box score and in the eyes of disappointed fans.
When it comes to the beef between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, let this fact sink in. If Reese didn't miss her layups and become a rebound merchant, she would get a lot less criticism. This rivalry would also be a lot better because the two could compete, and if she doesn't...
What should we do next? Chicago may have to make some difficult choices, bench time, and even trade discussions. You can only see a brick wall collapse on itself so many times before you realize this is a facade rather than a building. Therefore, perhaps a self-awareness workshop is much needed. Angel with all eyes on her when she entered the WNBA, Rhea is now demonstrating what happens when exuberance collides with harsh reality. Will she step up or continue to drag the sky down with her admirers who aren't waiting around to learn that they're already jumping ship? Oh, but depending on whether you're Angel Reese or, well, anyone with functional basketball IQ, it just continues getting better or worse. Let's discuss plus and minus. The statistic that distinguishes adults from box score illusionist Angel. Even though it's not a joke, Rhea nevertheless managed to record the lowest plus minus in the WNBA. To pull that off, you have to truly commit to being awful on both ends of the court according to her stat line. No defense. This is not merely a poor game, it's performance art, a full-fledged interpretative dance called optional team morale held hostage. Why have I come here at all?
Last night, Angel Reese played 27 minutes. I think there's only 40 minutes in a pretend basketball game, which is 40 minutes too many. But in 27 minutes, Angel Reese had 12 rebounds with 8 coming on the offensive end. 8 offensive rebounds. Angel Reese went 0 for 8 from the field and scored 2 points. 2 points in 27 minutes.
And the Chicago faithful are finally catching up. God bless them for trying to hold out hope, which they did. They bought the hype, the t-shirts, and the glamour shots, and they watched in anticipation of the next WNBA sensation's ascent. Instead, they received a lesson in disappointment, complete with missed layups and 0 assists. Attempting to purchase an Angel Reese jersey online is similar to watching her play on the court, which is confusing, frustrating, and ultimately leads to failure. Now, Chicago Sky fans are preparing for the inevitable, anticipating the moment when she turns the alcohol into a dramatic monologue about oppression, as if missed free throws are a social justice issue. When your own supporters are mentally preparing for your next press conference, you know that things have gone completely out of control. And who could forget the season finale from the previous season, when Angel Reese performed her famous disappearing act just before the sky began to swoon. Some refer to it as a coincidence, while others say it's the most obvious indication since Moses opened the Red Sea.
First thing I want to focus on is this right here, okay? Now, she only did this one time, but I do not want to see her doing this in any other game, okay? Now, let's go ahead and take a peek at what happened, all right? She gets the rebound, she goes up, misses it. Good fight, gets the rebound again. Okay, we're going in. That was a good look. Gets the rebound again, goes up again, misses it, get blocked. Now we're trying to go up again, gets blocked. Like, this is what I don't want to see. Okay, now, first attempt, okay, right? First attempt, all right, whatever. Boom, you get it right here. Now, honestly, in my opinion, give the ball back to the top of the key. Right?
Let's face it, if Angel Reese were more reliable at anything, it would be converting open layups into physics tests. Her fast break is like seeing someone run through molasses because she is the only player who can stop a transition play just by being there. An attitude-wrapped turnover accompanied by inspirational sayings that go bad like milk. A stat sheet that appears to be a joke cannot be covered by designer headbands. She has successfully redefined what it means to have a negative plus. Even her rebounds are suspect, the kind that bounce off her own failed shots, as if she were practicing for a solo performance, which isn't basketball. Minimus Angel isn't inflating stats. Instead, she's bringing them down by gravity alone. How to waste a possession in 4 dribbles or less is a one-woman performance art act. We must eventually stop pointing the finger at her colleagues, the referees, the supporters, and the detractors, and start addressing the situation as it is. A basketball tragedy caused by self-harm. This is regression using pom-poms, not a phase of growth. Angel Reese needs a reality check, a therapist, and a sabbatical. She doesn't need additional minutes. Gift wrapped in a box. The team scores from the previous 5 games, and they're in a tight spot where they have to seem like this is all a part of the learning curve, but it's actually a nosedive, a high-definition kamikaze mission.
Angel Reese, part 33. I mean, it doesn't get better than this, man.
Reese, part 33. Let's get it. We lost by 25 this time. Bang! That stuffer coming hot with the stats. She went 0 of 8, 5 turnovers, and she got 1 hit stick. Bang! She had 12 rebounds. 8 of them were the me-bounds, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get it going. How about it? Bang! Again, there's another me-bound. Let's do it again. Bang! Another me-bound. Do it again. Bang! Another me-bound. One more time. Bang! Wait, you're allowed to pass the ball?
When Chicago Sky fans turn on their poster child, it's not hate, it's self-respect. They've been patient, clapping through Brickfest, and enduring the stat padding and Instagram story sermons, but now they're awake, and nothing is more terrifying. Onto a brand that was founded on delusion than a fan base that finally wakes up. If this trend continues, Angel Reese's only contribution will be inadvertent comedy, as her stat lines currently make more sense than any late-night monologue. Unfortunately, it appears that Angel Reese is the one piloting the plane with her eyes closed and a selfie stick in her hand.